then please write it in the question section. As I said, my name is Matthias Heffner. I'm head of product group thermography in the sales center Germany. And with me is my colleague, Florian Gritsch. He will assist me in this webinar. And to answer one of the most important questions beforehand, you will receive the presentation afterwards via email. I think Ms. Klavka will send it to you. So please give me the possibility to tell some short terms about our company. For those of you who don't know us, we're a German company with worldwide 2,500 employees. We have 2 production sites in the Black Forest in southern Germany, and in the background you can see our new production site, especially for our thermal images. What's in it for you in this webinar, or what's the benefit? We want that you have the possibility to look with the eyes of a thermal sensor so that you can see things you haven't seen before. We want to tell you what's your benefit when you use thermography. We want to show you 2 thermal images that we think are ideal for or perfect for maintenance and electricians. And we would like to use this webinar for questions and answers. So if you have an answer because of the product or the application, please use the question functionality of the WebEx. And therefore, Mr. Gritsch will answer it for you in short term. So if you have questions, please use the question function. So I want to start a little bit different, not with a product, but with a little introduction. And I want to talk about, let's say, your job descriptions and what is expected from you in your job. You have a lot of tasks, daily tasks, and every day there are coming more and more tasks at your hand. And the challenge is that it should be done in a limited working time, or you have to do it with much less costs. So therefore, we want to tell you how thermography can help you in this situation. We want to tell you how you're faster with thermography in your daily work, how to lower or how to use the possibility to lower your costs, and how you're able to help, or how thermography helps you to improve up your safety standards, and as a result, for yourself, how you are able to reduce your personal stress level. And we want to ensure in this webinar that you can see thermography is absolutely easy to use, so that anybody can do it. But at first, how should you react to the expectations that you're confronted in your daily work? At first, we want to tell you that you have to change your customary perspective. You have to change your usual patterns. And we think that you have to leave your comfort zone. And I know to leave oneself's comfort zone is one of the most difficult things to do. To put it in examples, we want to tell you what we mean with these 3 topics. At first, with an example in mechanical maintenance, you can see in this example a machine that looks very neatly and well maintained. You can see a lot of rolls, bearings, and a belt. And in the first glimpse, you think, or you could say, everything seems to be okay. But when you change your perspective and when you use a thermal imager, here you can see the thermal image of the same situation. You can see that there is a so-called hotspot on one of the bearings. It tells you that there is a temperature of 63 degrees Celsius. And now you have the possibility to evaluate the situation much better, and you have the ability to make more secure decisions for what is to be done in the next steps. Maybe you have to change the bearings, maybe you have to call one of your colleagues or something else. But the main important, you can do or you can make much more secure decisions. We have a second example. This time it's a switch cabinet. And also this switch cabinet, with a first look, or when you look with the normal eyes, everything seems okay. If you change your perspective, if you use the thermal imager, you can see that two switching elements are or have a much higher temperature than the other switching elements. So you have very easily the possibility to evaluate the situation, maybe if it's okay, the temperature, or maybe if you have to do something. And our last example, here you can see an insulated steam pipe. It looks really well insulated, but you cannot see if maybe the temperature is high enough for your production process, or you cannot see if you have some energy losses. If you use a thermal image, as in this example, you can see that that you have a temperature of nearly 96 degrees Celsius. So if you really need high temperatures, you can be sure that your process temperature is okay, or maybe you have the possibility to see the potential for further energy savings if you have to improve your insulation. So our second topic was changing patterns. Now we want to give you an example what we mean with changing patterns. In the first example, maybe today you use a typical contact thermometer for measurement on the surface, but you have one problem. You have only one small spot with only a few square millimeters, and you need a lot of time to find a hotspot on the surface of a machine. And sometimes it's very difficult to reach every surface of the machine because of the mechanical sensor. So the question is, or the challenge, you need a lot of time to do your daily measurement. Our second example for changing patterns, maybe you use one of the popular pyrometers for non-contact measurement. There you have the same problem. You only see one spot at a time. It's only an average measurement value, so you can't see hotspots. It's not possible to see the maximum temperatures that are on the surface, and therefore, how can you be sure to find errors when you're using a simple pyrometer? So therefore, we try to tell you that it's much more better to use a thermal image, like in this example, where you're able to see hotspots, like in this case with 150 degrees Celsius. So when you use a thermal image, at first you have at least 90,200 measurement values. You can measure it and record it in 3 seconds maximum, so you're very fast. You can identify possible cost risk factors on the machine, and with 2 further seconds you're able to do a simple IR image, save it on the camera. Maybe you need it to show it to your supervisor or to your colleague. So therefore, the advantages of thermography when you use a thermal imager, it's a very fast application. You only need a few seconds to find errors and to do an evaluation. It can be used on large surfaces because of more than 10,000 single sensors. It's very easy to use. You can use it like a normal digital camera, and you have a fast documentation at the end if you need it for your supervisor or for a technical colleague. So we have some further advantages. One topic would be We call it prolonging useful lifetime. So you're able, or when you're able to determine the wear of a machine and components is normally based on thermal load. If you know this wear, you can make a judgment whether you have to prolong or you can prolong the use of the wearing parts, or if you have to change them. So on the other hand, when you can judge or do the evaluation that you don't need to replace it, it's unnecessary, so you have a simple way to lower your costs. Another point is optimizing spare parts stocks, because when you're able to determine the condition, like I said in the slide before, of the components, and you can make a judgment of the forecast lifetime, you can very precisely define which spare parts do you need on stock and which not. So you haven't tight capital in stocking, and therefore it's also an easy way to lower your costs. Therefore, and for all these applications and to gain from these benefits, you need a thermal imager, and therefore we want to talk about two preferred thermal imagers in our way. I would like to start with a Testo 885 thermal imager. We choose it because it's compliant with different guidelines. For example, German guidelines like DIN ISO or other guidelines where the technical specifications are described of a thermal imager. So this thermal imager is compliant with these guidelines. It has received in the last months different multiple awards. For one example, we have an award from the Fraunhofer Institute. And this thermal imager is optimized if you have a lot of measurement sites and when you have machines that are really big or huge. Then this is the perfect thermal imager. It's the perfect thermal imager because it has one or more really important functions. The most important function is the image quality. Therefore, in a lot of guidelines, is defined what kind of resolution you need, and therefore you get a resolution of 320 to 240 pixels with a thermal resolution of 30 millikelvins, and therefore you receive one of the best possible image at the moment. You have the possibility to use our patent pending super resolution function, where you receive infrared images with higher resolution, so you improve the resolution of your images. It has a panorama image functionality for large plants. So when you used the panorama function of normal digital cameras or smartphones, then you can imagine what's meant with a panorama image. It has a touchscreen for fast and easy operation. It has a so-called process analysis functionality. So therefore you can use it for long-term recordings if you want to have or if you want to check or prove a machine for a long term, maybe a few hours or maybe 2 or 3 days. We implemented a so-called automatic measurement data management system via QR code. Therefore, all the data all the images you save are automatically managed in the software and on your computer. If you have high temperature processes, you have the possibility to measure up to 1200 Celsius degree. And it has an autofocus for fast and easy operating. And the best, it starts from 6,500 euros. Therefore, we want to to tell you that we have an actual add-on package. It's an actual promo where you can, or where we offer special functionalities. For example, you get the super resolution function for high resolution. You get the process analysis. You get a second tailor lens that included, and further accessories. On the basis, we offer it for a promo price of 9,000 euros, and your savings on single purchases is more than 2,000 euros. So, on the other side, we have our new low-budget thermal imager. It's the Testo 870, and the main point is that it has a resolution of 19,200 pixels, so you get 19,200 more sensors like any pyrometer on the market. We have the functionality reduced to ensure easy operation. So it's perfect if you need only several times a year a thermal imager, or if you want to, or if you have the idea to substitute a pyrometer in your application. And it's the perfect entrance in the world of thermal images, and it has the best cost-benefit ratio when you have only a few measurement sites. The main functions of our new Testo 870: you have a good image quality with a standard sensor of 160 to 120 pixels. You also can use the upgrade function, super resolution. So even with this low budget thermal imager, you can get or receive high resoluted thermal images. It has a very handy and small size. It has a very robust design. For example, the lens is built in the housing, and it has a so-called fixed focus. So all that you have to do, switch it on, point it to your measuring size, and pull the trigger to save an IR image. That's all you have to do. And our low-budget thermal imager starts from 1,639 euros. We also have a so-called promo set for our low-budget thermal imager. The main points: you can get the thermal imager including super resolution and including additional accessory, and you have a promo price from 1,749 euros, and the second promo price 2,349 euros, and you have a saving if you want to buy this promo set. So I think that's the most important information about our products and applications. If you're interested in more information, you can get it on the conrad.biz website. For example, you find there the Testo 870 with application videos. For example, there is a customer in maintenance who is using the 870 in daily work, so you can see how it really is functioning in your daily work, and you get more information about our 885 thermal imager with our add-on packages. And therefore, I would say let's do some questions and answers. My colleague Florian is here if you have further questions. Then we have a few minutes, so please use the question functionality if you have any questions. We're eager to answer it, and therefore we would like beforehand thank you a lot of much for your interest for this webinar, And let's see if we have received some questions at the moment. No, I don't think so. My colleague has answered it during the webinar. So therefore, if Ms. Klavka has some points to mention, I would like to switch over to Ms. Klavka. And therefore, a lot of thanks from my side for the possibility to do this webinar together with Konrad.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Heffner. Thank you all for attending the webinar. You will find the video stream on our website, conrad.biz, I think mid-next week. You can find all our webinars under the point services, and you can check out on the left-hand menu the webinars and events page, and then you see all the webinars and all the links to the video streams. So, okay, if there are no more questions, thank you again, and we will end this webinar at this point, and hope to see or hear you soon next year.